Greetings. Let's imagine together this scenario. Sometime in the future, you gather together with your family, your kids, your grandchildren, and your great great grandchildren, and you're celebrating your 120th birthday. Sounds crazy, bizarre, and strange, but not according to Dr. David Sinclair. And in his book Lifespan, he believes that human lifespan can be extended to even beyond 120 years and sooner than we might think. Dr. David Sinclair and his book, The Lifespan, is very interesting. It's a visionary book, quite masterful. And David Sinclair himself is an acclaimed Harvard Medical School scientist and a researcher. He has been conducting research for several years, specifically into aging, and experimented with mice and also involved in human trials as well. In his book, he believes that humans are not that far away from achieving a longer lifespan. It's quite a shift in my channel since I usually review movies, but this time I'll be reviewing a book. Now, in the book, he explores where human beings are right now and the advances we reached in terms of lifespan longevity. And of course, comparing the human lifespan, let's say 100 to 150 years ago, we have definitely improved. The average lifespan back 100 years back was almost around 50 to 60 years. Now we can easily reach 80 years. He discusses aging, and he mentioned that he believes aging is a disease, not just a natural phenomena that we have to just give in and accept as a natural occurrence. And now again, this is very debatable. I know a lot of people and a lot of scientists who believe aging is just the natural way everything in existent works. However, he believes no, it's an illness and can be treated. He gives examples of other illnesses and disorders. For example, heart illness, heart diseases, hypertension, diabetes, and joint. And he says that these illnesses are usually treated. And by treating those illnesses, we are actually prolonging our lifespan. So how come when it comes to these illnesses, we are treating them to prolong our lifespan, but when it comes to aging, as a generalized word, we are neglecting that? He then talks about current means that would help people sort of prolong their lifespan, or he calls it health span. And the difference between the two, he believes that in health span, you want to prolong your life while you're healthy, not just prolonging your lifespan, but getting sick all the time. And he, of course, obviously mentioned the very well-known tactics and strategies of exercising, dieting, calorie restrictions. So he cited individuals who are centennials, meaning who reached 100 years and above. And he mentioned certain studies that have shown that those individuals have physical activity, the type of diet, and calorie restrictions. He then talks about future advances that would eventually lead to prolonged lifespan in humans. He tackles gene therapy, obviously, where turning on and off certain genes, aging genes, would help an individual prolong his lifespan. He also talks about certain medications. And one of the medications he mentioned is metformin, which is the diabetic medication or anti-diabetic medication. He says some studies have shown that people who take metformin, those who are non-diabetic, have shown to have a healthier and a prolonged lifespan. Another medication he mentioned that is still currently under studying and research is rapamycin, which is an immunosuppressant. And there are various reports that this medication actually helps in prolonging the lifespan in humans. Other future considerations, which could be considered as if they are a sci-fi book or film is exposure to extreme cold temperatures have shown also to put a body into shock system and eventually lead to a prolonged lifespan. He also talks about a 3D printing. He said that obviously organ transplant is a key factor in prolonging lifespans in people or individuals who have basically dysfunctional organs. And because obviously right now we rely only on transplant from donors, and so 3D printing could be an area to be utilized in terms of creating organs for transplant from scratch. These are quite interesting ideas. He also talks about nanotechnology and robotics, but these are very far away. But he does believe that we are edging ever so closer to prolonging the lifespan of humans. And then in the final chapters, he tackles the different views of people's culture, societies, and religion in terms of their notion and their ideas and their perspective of prolonging lifespan. Is it something we should accept? Is it something not acceptable? Should we embrace a prolonging lifespan? He does talk about certain situations where you might think that the earth would be overpopulated if we extend the lifespan. But then he says we are already being overpopulated and we have already extended our lifespan. So we're moving in the same direction. And rather than worry about the overpopulation of the humans, why not tackle it in different approaches? And then he talks about what if we should, certain countries and governments, limit or control the number of births per family. And again, that's very debatable when it comes to society, cultures, and religion. Some people are against, some people are with. He also speaks about suicide. He says that, let's say that we do achieve this level of prolonging lifespans. Should suicide be legalized? Again, he does specifically mention that anyone who wants to commit suicide obviously has to go through a thorough and a detailed evaluation and assessment. As we all know, suicide is most likely secondary to a mental illness, which is obviously the most common is depression. However, he does believe that certain people could wish to end their life. And again, he comes to this point where let's say that we can prolong their lifespan, but shouldn't we have the choice to, for example, we say enough is enough. So again, it's debatable and it depends on so many factors and so many ideas. So people might say they want to die soon, others will not. And again, you can't find a unified answer. At the end of the day, I think most of us psychologically enjoy life, love it. We want to be with our family. We want to see our children and our grandchildren, our great great grandchildren if we can, provided that we are healthy. Definitely, if we reach 70 or 80 and we have multiple illnesses, pain, of course, I don't think anyone would rather continue living and maybe perhaps would wish that he dies. But if we can somehow maintain our healthy lifestyles, even when we reach 70, 80, wouldn't we want to continue and see and live with our kids and grandkids? That's a very important question, and no one again can answer that to you directly. There are different opinions, different backgrounds, and nobody can give you an exact answer to these questions. But again, as I mentioned, it's a very interesting read. It's a visionary book, very debatable, thought-provoking, talks about a very sensitive issue with those who agree and disagree with his notions. But I like the way he talks about it. I like his ideas. He's not afraid to express them. And again, he's presenting a choice. He's not mandating any type of rule or any type of changes in our lives. He's just basically giving a choice. If the choice is for us to, for example, live another 30 or 50 years, why not take it and achieve it? And then again, as I mentioned, he does discuss certain issues that might arise by prolonging lifespans. We did talk about overpopulation, but then he talks about financial issues. He talks about the retirement age. He talks about so many dynamics at the end of the book, but he also talks about possible solutions for them. So yeah, a book that I would strongly encourage buying and reading. It's thought-provoking and very interesting.